welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Jakks specific Sonic the Hedgehog 2.5-inch Mighty the Armadillo. This is a character I've been wanting to do a video on for a while and it just recently got. You probably will not recognize this, but I actually got him from my last toy hunt at Ross by the time I'm recording this. And you're probably wondering where, if you watch the toy hunt, he's nowhere to be seen. That's actually because I found him after I finished the toy hunt, right before the store was closing. I decided to go do an extra quick search just to see if I was truly missing on something, and I'm glad I did because I found this Mighty hanging over the large shelves and stuff like that. I was so happy to find him because this is a character I've been looking for a while. But now let's take a closer look at the box. These kind of 2.5-inch Sonic figures are really well protected, although it will make it very hard to put them out of the box. You can see it costed $4 instead of $5. And in this case, you have the description: Mighty is a powerful armadillo and a great friend to Knuckles and Ray. I've mainly been looking for this figure because I've had Ray for quite a while now, and I want to do a video on them. But you can see how the Ross price is plastered all over the character's face. And here's a look at the other figures from the wave. I only have that other Sonic. I would really like to get the Chows. But that's pretty much it for the packaging. I know it's going to be very hard. This is not my first time opening these kinds of Sonic boxes, but man, is it going to be hard to pull Mighty out of the box, but let's do it. So here we finally have Mighty out of the box. And before we actually take a look at the figure itself, let's talk a bit about who Mighty the Armadillo is. Basically, he was a vintage-era Sonic character who only appeared in an arcade game from what I've known. He appeared with his best friend, Ray the Flying Squirrel. And they kind of just stuck around for Sonic's classic era. After the arcade game, I don't know if these characters appeared in console games. I believe they never did. And they kind of disappeared after that for a while for the modern Sonic era. They were not in any of the modern games, even though Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Dr. Eggman, and Metal Sonic all made it to the modern era. Well, Mighty and Ray did not. They kind of just stayed in the classic era. They did appear in stuff like the Archie comics, but after that, they kind of just disappeared. It wasn't until I believe it was the recent Sonic game, Sonic Mania, that they did a new appearance, although again in the classic era. So technically, these characters have never had modern equivalents. Therefore, their merchandise has been in a classic style in general, whether it's figures and even plushes. I believe this is actually the first time Mighty the Armadillo has been done in action figure form. There is this 2.5-inch version and a more posable 4-inch version, but let's take a look at the one we have right now, which is the 2.5-inch version. Zooming into some of the details, that is definitely a classic era Sonic expression. In this case, as I mentioned, he's an armadillo, although it might be kind of hard to figure that out just by looking at him. And overall, it's a very simple design, but it's very effective. Again, the 2.5-inch range, I like how simple it can be, and I actually like it for the classic era characters. And overall, it's a very accurate figure, and I definitely think a great interpretation of this obscure character.
Gotta go fast!
Getting into the articulation, these 2.5-inch figures are not all that posable. He has movement in the head, although the back part of his head makes it a bit harder to pose. He has movement out of the arms and out of the legs, and that's pretty much it. The figure is kind of pre-posed in a way where he has kind of like a bend to his arms and his legs, which could make him slightly hard to keep standing up, but overall, it's exactly what you would expect from these 2.5-inch Jakks specific figures, but it's not necessarily bad.
They're very, very small.
And starting off with some size comparisons, the first and very important one, here he is next to Ray the Flying Squirrel. He has the exact same backstory as Mighty, the character from Sonic's classic arcade era, who disappeared after that. He appeared in the Archie comics, but he never appeared in any modern Sonic era video games. He appeared in Sonic Mania next to Mighty, and besides that, they have been a bit more relevant now thanks to their appearance in these games. Although, again, both characters are still obscure enough to not really call them A-list characters, because they, again, just stayed in the classic era. But they look great next to each other. I've had Ray for quite a while now and just got him with the idea that I'll soon pick up Mighty after that, and I'm pretty sure I've had this Ray for like a year maybe, and I had not found Mighty until recently. So I'm very happy to have this pair next together finally. In this case, they have more of like a brotherly relation, and I'm so happy to finally have this duo together. And here's Mighty compared to the 4-inch modern Sonic. In this case, I again want to show you how he's obviously a classic era character, like the shorter proportions, the rounder shape. This is clearly a classic era character. In this case, they were never really designed for a modern video game version of him. And there has been a 4-inch version of Mighty, although in terms of its design, it's still classic. And honestly, I don't think I'm gonna get it or any of the 4-inch classic characters just because I really like the 2.5-inch range of classic characters. And speaking of which, here is my 2.5-inch Sonic collection. These are all the ones I have right now. It's Sonic, Tails, Ray, now Mighty, Amy Rose, and Metal Sonic. I've only done videos on Sonic and Metal Sonic. Ray is pretty soon gonna be the next video, just because now I have Mighty. You feel like I need to do Ray next. But I'm really happy with these 2.5-inch Sonic figures. They're very affordable. They're very nice. Again, I kind of like the limited articulation they have, just because it makes me think of the limitation of the technology when Sonic came, comparing it to what Sonic can do now. I feel like these figures are not just more in scale with your modern characters, but it just kind of makes you think of how far Sonic has gotten. And overall, these are a great lineup, and I hope Jakks Pacific keeps doing these for a while, whether it's modern or classic. But that's pretty much it for the size comparisons. So overall, the Jakks Pacific Sonic the Hedgehog 2.5-inch Mighty Armadillo is a really good figure. Now, I'm really happy that Jakks Pacific has been doing these figures for quite a while now, and just how many characters they managed to have made. Characters who we have not seen since the old Jazzwares line. Characters who never had figures before, like Ray or Mighty. Like, seriously, before this, Tomy would have never thought about doing Ray, the Flying Squirrel, or Mighty the Armadillo. So to see figures of these characters and recently revealed other characters in the classic era, like the Animal Buddies and even Fang the Weasel, like that's one that has just been recently revealed. I suggest looking for images if you're interested. But seriously, just seeing these obscure characters get figures is really cool, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna make the Jakks Pacific Sonic line one that'll go down in history because of characters like this. That's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments what you think about this figure, what you think about Mighty and Ray, and how Jakks Pacific's doing these more obscure Sonic characters. And that's it. Thanks for watching.